Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to, cut through the noise.
Get straight to the essentials.
Exactly. And today we're diving deep into something that, well, it kicks off most of our days, often before we're even really awake.
Has to be coffee.
It is the fascinating world of coffee consumption and spending.
A big topic.
It really is. So our mission today, we're going to unpack some honestly surprising stats about our daily coffee habits.
Okay.
Explore the financial side of things, which is pretty significant, and then importantly, find some practical ways to enjoy great coffee without, hurting your wallet too much.
Sounds good. Where's this all coming from?
Right. Good question. We've got a whole stack of sources, everything from broad market stats, personal finance articles, even tips from coffee shop owners. So a real mix.
Right. Comprehensive.
Okay, grab your mug, whatever's in it, and let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
So for so many of us, coffee, it's not just a drink, is it? It feels like, I don't know, a ritual.
Absolutely. A cornerstone of the morning for millions.
Totally. That first smell, maybe the reason you make it to that early meeting, or just catching up with friends.
It connects people.
And the numbers. Wow, they really back this up. 62% of Americans drink coffee every single day.
62%. That's huge.
I know. Apparently that's more than drink tap water daily, which is kind of wild.
Huh. Didn't know that.
And 7 out of 10 drink it at least once a week, the average drinker, more than 3 cups a day.
3 cups. Wow.
Yeah, and not just in the morning, often throughout the day.
It's striking, those U.S. numbers. But what's really fascinating, I think, is putting it in a global context.
Okay, how do we stack up?
Well, those numbers seem high, but the U.S. actually ranks 8th worldwide.
8th. Really? Who drinks more?
I think Scandinavia, Finland, and Sweden are the real champions. Finns drink more than double the coffee per person compared to Americans.
Wow. Okay, so we love our coffee, but maybe not quite as much as the Finns.
Exactly. And even within the U.S., there's variation. About 26% drink, say, 1 cup or less daily.
Right.
While 44% are in that 2 to 3 cup range.
So that's the biggest group.
Seems like it. And there's a slight gender difference, too. Men drink just a little bit more on average, like 1.93 cups per day versus 1.82 for women.
Interesting little detail. So it's not one size fits all.
Not at all.
And, just quickly on the health side, for people maybe pushing past that 3-cup mark, it's worth remembering the caffeine limits.
Right, the general advice.
Yeah, most experts say try to stay under 400 milligrams a day. Your average cup has, 95 to maybe 140 milligrams?
Somewhere in that ballpark, yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 or 4 standard cups is usually within the limit for most people.
Good to keep in mind. Enjoy it responsibly. Right.
Always.
Okay, so we've established we drink a lot of coffee, gallons of it collectively. But what happens when we follow that habit, to our bank accounts? Because it's not just waking us up, it's adding up financially. Big time.
Oh, yeah, the economic impact is huge.
Prepare for this number. Americans collectively spend roughly $40 billion a year on coffee.
40 billion with a B.
Yeah. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire GDP of, Estonia or Bolivia.
Wow, that really shows how much we value it, I guess, or how much that daily habit costs.
It fuels a massive economic engine, that's for sure. But here's where it gets really interesting for me. How our habits have actually changed, especially over the last few years.
Right, the pandemic shifted things.
Big time. Home brewing absolutely exploded.
Yeah.
Get this, 85% of regular coffee drinkers now have at least 1 cup at home.
85%, that's way up.
It's an 8% jump just since 2020, and people got adventurous. Over 40% tried new coffee flavors at home during the pandemic.
Trying to replicate the coffee shop experience, probably.
Exactly. Are we all secret baristas now? Maybe. But even with all that home brewing, convenience is still king when people do buy coffee out.
Makes sense. People are busy.
Almost half, 48%, prefer drive-thrus.
Drive-thrus, yep.
And we're seeing more independent shops adding them. Plus, all the smartphone apps for ordering ahead.
Cutting down wait times.
Right. And don't underestimate those independent shops. They bring in over $12 billion a year.
$12 billion is a serious chunk of that $40 billion total.
It is. An average indie espresso drive-thru, they sell 200 to 300 drinks a day.
That's a lot of lattes going out the window.
It really is.
It's fascinating, those shifts. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, what also stands out is this growing preference for specialty and ethically sourced coffee.
Ah, right. Not just any coffee, but good coffee.
Exactly, specialty coffee sales. They're seeing like a 20% annual increase. It's now over 8% of the whole U.S. coffee market, which is itself worth about $18 billion.
So quality is becoming more important.
Definitely. About 60% of coffee served in the U.S. now uses gourmet beans.
Mm-hmm.
And you see new stuff taking off, like cold brew, nitro coffee.
Oh, yeah. Cold brew's everywhere now.
1 in 5 people under 40 have those kinds of drinks weekly.
That desire for quality, for something new, it makes sense. But what about the ethical side you mentioned? Sources point that way, too.
Absolutely. It's a growing trend. More than half, 53% of regular coffee drinkers say they prefer to buy coffee that's certified.
Certified how?
Certified as, good for the environment, good for the farmers, good for the communities where it's grown.
And are they willing to pay for that?
Often, yes. They'll pay a bit extra for that certification, and it matters, right?
Why specifically? What does certification guarantee?
Well, ideally, it helps ensure farmers are using sustainable methods better for the soil, the trees. It pushes for fair wages, and it can offer protection from, say, governments trying to unfairly control harvests or exploit labor.
So it's about the whole supply chain being healthier, more equitable.
Exactly. Making sure your dollar hopefully has a positive impact, not just getting you caffeine.
Okay, so with all the spending billions of dollars, it's kind of inevitable that coffee ends up in those, financial debates.
Oh, for sure.
Which brings us to the latte factor. I'm sure many people listening have heard of this.
Yeah, David Back's concept.
Right, the idea that small daily expenses, like maybe a $6 fancy latte, really add up over time.
5 lattes a week, that's $1,500 a year, gone.
And it's often pitched as like the first thing to cut if you're struggling financially.
Which, this raises an important question. What's the real cost beyond just the dollars you hand over?
You mean like opportunity cost?
Exactly. Let's use a simpler example. Say a $3 daily coffee, maybe with a tip. That's about $1,000 a year, give or take.
Okay, follow you so far.
Now, what if instead of spending that $1,000, you invested it? Let's say, hypothetically, you got a 9% annual return for 25 years, from age 40 to 65, maybe.
Right, investing it instead.
That $1,000 a year, compounded over 25 years at 9%, could grow to around $85,000.
Whoa. Okay, 85,000 from saving $3 a day.
Potentially, yeah. It's the power of compounding over time. So if you think about it that way, the real cost of that $3 coffee isn't just $3.
It's more like, what? You divide the 85K by the number of coffee.
Roughly, yeah. $85,000 divided by, say, 312 coffees a year for 25 years. It comes out closer to $11 per cup in lost future value.
$11 for a $3 coffee.
Huh. If you factor in something like a company match on your retirement savings, that $85,000 could maybe become $130,000.
Okay, now you're really blowing my mind.
Which would make each $3 coffee cost closer to like $16 in lost future wealth. It definitely puts a different spin on it.
It certainly does put it in perspective. But, that $16 figure, it feels a bit intense. Like, is the point just to make us feel guilty?
Maybe a little guilt trip sometimes.
Or is it just about awareness? Because, let's be honest, is coffee the sole reason someone's broke? Probably not, right?
Generally, no. And our sources actually touch on this. While cutting coffee is, an easy habit to point to, or maybe cut when things are tight,
it can be a distraction.
It often distracts from the bigger financial picture. What actually tanks people's finances usually isn't the espresso.
It's what, like forgotten subscriptions?
Exactly. Forgotten subscriptions you don't even use. Overspending on, stuff that doesn't really bring lasting joy.
Lifestyle creep. Your spending rising with your income without you noticing?
That's a big one. Not tracking income versus expenses, not negotiating your salary, or maybe not exploring side hustles if needed. Those things usually have a much bigger impact than a daily coffee.
Okay. So what's the takeaway here? It's not necessarily give up coffee forever.
Not at all. It's more about understanding where your money is actually going, being mindful.
Making a plan? Intentional spending, maybe? Not just blindly cutting small joys?
Precisely. Know the trade-offs, including that opportunity cost, and then decide what's right for you.
Okay. And this is all especially relevant now because coffee prices themselves are actually, they're going up.
Yeah, I saw that. The C market.
Right, the C market, which is like the global benchmark for Arabica beans. Yeah. It's at a 5-year high.
And that means?
It means what we pay, in cafes and for beans is likely going to get more expensive, especially heading into 2025.
Great. So smarter sipping is becoming even more important.
Exactly. So let's get into some practical, actionable tips, stuff from the sources on how to enjoy great coffee without, emptying your wallet or sacrificing quality.
All right, let's hear them.
Tip number 1, and this is probably the single biggest money saver.
Brew at home.
You got it. Brew at home. If you're hitting a coffee shop every day, just stopping that is huge. You could save like 60–70% on your coffee costs.
Plus, honestly, it's often faster than waiting in that morning line.
Totally.
Uh-huh.
Okay, tip 2, be intentional about your beans.
What do you mean by intentional?
Well, think about having maybe a daily driver coffee, something reliable, tasty, good value for your everyday morning cup.
Okay.
And then maybe have a separate sip and relax coffee, something a bit more special, maybe single origin for weekends or when you really want to savor it.
Like having your everyday wine and your special occasion wine.
Kind of like that. One source, Sagebrush Coffee, they talk about their brown label coffees from smaller farms for every day. And then their best of the best single origins with fancy processing for those special moments. You don't need the absolute premium every day.
Got it. Manage your bean budget.
Exactly. Third tip, minimize waste, maximize freshness.
Okay. How?
Well, first, don't brew more than you need. If you live alone or your household has different schedules, maybe don't brew a full 12-cup pot if half gets thrown away.
Individual pour-overs, maybe. Or a smaller pot.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Saving even 5–10% of your coffee grounds over a year adds up.
True. And freshness.
This ties into buying in bulk. You can save money per pound buying larger bags, like 4-pound bags.
Okay, but won't it go stale?
That's where storage is key. If you buy bulk, you have to store it right. Light and oxygen are the enemy.
Airtight container, dark place.
Yep. Airtight, dark place. Sealed bags work too. Humidity is also a factor, so avoid the fridge or freezer generally. Coffee's really at its peak maybe 4 days to 2 weeks after roasting. But with good storage, you can keep it tasting pretty great for up to 4 weeks. Minimal difference for most people. So buying bulk monthly can work if you store it right.
Good tip. Store well. What's next?
Fourth, rethink your coffee gear. You don't need every new gadget.
The gear acquisition syndrome.
Totally. Sometimes simple things make a bigger difference. Like one source mentioned just stirring the grounds during brewing the bloom phase with a chopstick can improve flavor more than some expensive grinder upgrade.
Interesting. Focus on technique, not just tech.
Right. Buying gear is a hobby. Totally fine. But don't feel you need it all just for a good cup if you're trying to save.
Fair enough. Keep it simple if budget's a concern.
And finally, tip number 5. This is the most significant way to save money, but it's more involved.
Home roasting.
You guessed it, home roasting. It sounds maybe intimidating, but sauce to say it's easier than you think.
And the savings.
Roasted beans cost what? Maybe 3 times as much as green, unroasted beans? So you're saving around 70% on the bean cost itself.
That's huge savings.
Plus, it can be a fun hobby. One person mentioned starting with just a popcorn popper on the stove.
Wow, okay. That's dedication, but definitely the biggest saver.
For sure.
And, zooming out again, the why behind these tips is important too. It's not just about being cheap.
Right. What's the bigger picture?
The goal really shouldn't be to, cut corners on the quality of the beans themselves, especially if you care about ethical sourcing. It's more about reducing waste and spending wisely.
So save money on storage, brewing methods, maybe gear.
Exactly. Save money there so you can still afford to buy good quality, ethically sourced beans from producers whose own costs, fertilizer, labor are going up.
So being smarter with our consumption helps support the farmers upstream.
That's the idea. Reduce waste here so you can invest better there. It's a potential win-win.
That makes a lot of sense. So, okay, let's try and summarize what we've deep dived into today.
Right.
Coffee, it's massive. A huge ingrained part of daily life for so many of us.
Undeniably.
Yeah.
And our spending habits around it, they're evolving. Home brewing up, drive-thrus popular, interest in specialty and ethical beans growing.
And understanding the costs, both the direct price tag and that sometimes surprising opportunity cost. That can be really eye-opening.
Definitely gives you pause for thought.
But the good news, really, is that it's totally possible to enjoy fantastic, high-quality coffee without overspending.
Absolutely. It just takes a bit more mindfulness about how much you use, how you store it, how you prepare it.
Being an informed consumer in every sense.
Exactly.
So here's a final thought for everyone listening. The next time you consider that daily cup, think beyond just the immediate satisfaction the caffeine hit. What stands out to you about its deeper value? Or maybe what investments, both financial, thinking about that opportunity cost, and ethical, what investments do you want to make with that choice?
Good question to ponder.